Shu Luokan picked up his brush and closed his eyes in deep thought, thinking it would be better to channel the sorrow in his heart into poetry. Surely the great poets of ancient times did the same. That said, when it actually came time to put brush to paper, he froze. His eyes were red and swollen from crying as he asked himself, "What should I write?" Suddenly, Shu Luokan threw his brush high, a sharp emerald-green spiritual energy surging from him as he bellowed, "The snowflakes drift, the north wind whistles." Then, looking at his self-portrait, he added, "On the 3rd day of April the wind is warm but the heart is cold." Having finished the poem, he propped his chin on his hand, weighing his work with a dissatisfied expression. No, the first half is fine but the second half won't do." Acting on his impulse, Shu Luokan dipped his brush in ink, and with a broad stroke crossed out the second line. "Better change it," he muttered. A moment later he interlaced his fingers and rested his chin on them, his brow furrowed in deep contemplation as he murmured to himself, "A lonely peak gazes at the bright moon isn't good either. Who could possibly understand the bitterness I feel right now? No, that's not right either." Suddenly his eyes widened with excitement and the words burst out of him. "Ah, I've got it." Immediately, he hunched over, his brush flying across the portrait as he inscribed the poem. He was filled with pride, his heart surging like crashing waves. Shu Luokan squinted and shouted, "It is finished." Finally, 3 lines of poetry appeared in the corner of the painting. The middle line was a messy smudge of ink, making it stand out awkwardly. Even so, Shu Luokan's eyes shimmered as he wept tears of joy. He covered his face and sighed emotionally. "A masterpiece, truly a masterpiece. Art is indeed the source of life. It not only captures the sorrow in my heart but even incorporates Eldest Senior Brother. The scenery matches, the painting matches, it's perfect." He flicked his hair and tilted his head back with pride. "When Eldest Senior Brother sees this he'll surely be moved to tears. I feel a bit better now." Shu Luokan tucked the painting into his sleeve and straightened his appearance, no longer looking like he had been wailing. He smiled and said, "I must show this to Eldest Senior Brother when he returns." He straightened his back and looked toward the distant overlapping mountain peaks with his hands behind his back. "I didn't realize it had gotten so dark," he remarked. "I wonder why the sorrow in my heart suddenly surges even more fiercely once midnight arrives." Shu Luokan frowned and sighed with a melancholy air. "Alas, I should linger a while longer in this night air, this bitterness in my heart, only Senior Brother can truly understand." He sat down, propping himself up with one hand while the other rested on his knee, dazing off under the clear moonlight. Not far away, Chen Lingru watched Shu Luokan's lonely figure sitting on the mountain peak. Munching on a cucumber, she gossiped, "3rd Senior Brother, why has 2nd Senior Brother become just like Eldest Senior Brother? Does he also like sitting alone on the mountain peak staring into space?" Hearing this, the person beside her walked over and sighed. "Who knows? Don't let 2nd Senior Brother's calm exterior fool you. He actually loves secretly imitating Eldest Senior Brother's behavior." 3rd Senior Brother Wang Zhouyu said, looking toward Shu Luokan. "He thinks he looks incredibly cool." Chen Lingru turned her head and retorted, "I don't think that's it. When I saw Brother Luokan today he seemed to be crying. It might have something to do with our junior brother." As soon as she said this, Wang Zhouyu frowned, asking in disbelief, "Crying, junior brother, how could those two things be related?" Chen Lingru pointed toward where Shu Luokan was sitting and speculated, "Could it be that junior brother's talent is so poor that eldest and 2nd Senior Brother just can't take it anymore? 3rd Senior Brother, why don't you try teaching junior brother some arrays over the next few days?" However, he refused. "Not me. The array formation assessment is coming up soon. You'd better ask Old 4th or Old 5th, but Chen Lingru said that was impossible. 4th and 5th Senior Brothers have been down the mountain for a long time. They probably won't be back for a while. Should I go get Eldest Senior Sister?" Wang Zhouyu didn't think that was a good idea at all. He explained, "Eldest Senior Sister, that won't do, even though she has the highest cultivation among us. Her logic is too bizarre. It's better to let Brother Luokan keep teaching him." Chen Lingru looked helpless, left speechless with sympathy for Shu Luokan. Seeing the state 2nd Senior Brother was in, she felt he was at his breaking point. Before she could finish her sentence, Wang Zhouyu took off saying, "Do whatever you want. If it causes trouble, deal with it yourself. This has nothing to do with me. You know me, I hate trouble more than anything. I'm going back to rest." Furious, Chen Lingru shouted, "3rd Senior Brother, you're doing it again, running away the moment something happens." Despite her anger, she didn't chase him. Instead, she looked at Shu Luokan's lonely silhouette and worried, "Should I really go ask Eldest Senior Sister for help?" Meanwhile, Shu Luokan sat quietly, observing the sky, the earth and the clouds. Suddenly his brow twitched slightly, and he cast a scrutinizing glance to the side. His face fell into a pout as he complained innocently, "It's already past midnight. Why is my right eyelid still twitching incessantly? Is there more bad luck coming my way?" But soon Shu Luokan chuckled and shouted, "Ha ha ha, how could that be? What could be unluckier than yesterday? Perhaps I'm just about to be praised for no reason again." He then skipped back toward his room, singing to himself, "Impossible, time for bed, time for bed." Time flew by and a new day began. At the Qingyun Sect, the celestial cranes had already left their nests to forage in the early morning. At the foot of the mountain, two people collapsed onto the ground, staring at the familiar stone steps of the ascent. Taoist Taihua of the Qingyun Sect spoke weakly, his eyes brimming with tears and his hair a mess. "We're back. We're finally back. It feels so good to be home. I swear I will cherish every penny from now on." Su Changyu was physically and mentally exhausted. With disheveled hair, he cried out, "Master, next time you go to the Silent Forest Mountains, please don't bring me along. I'd like to live a few years longer." Taoist Taihua's face twisted as he replied, "Do you think I'm crazy enough to go back?" Suddenly, a crafty look crossed Taihua's face. He grabbed Su Changyu's hand and coaxed him gently. "My good disciple, didn't you want to see little Yi Ping while you're at it? Find out if he's painted anything lately. If he hasn't, find a way to make him paint something." Su Changyu's face flushed and he poked his index fingers together, refusing bashfully, "Master, you care about your reputation, but don't I care about mine? All you think about is how to squeeze money out of junior brother. When I'm old and look back, my life will be nothing but a series of stains." But then Su Changyu had a sudden change of heart. He looked dazed as he stepped onto the worn stone steps and said melancholically, "Sai, forget it. For the sake of my fellow brothers, I'll give it a try." This made Taoist Taihua ecstatic, and he shouted, "As expected of my most cherished disciple." But Su Changyu snapped back impatiently, "Get lost." Time passed under a clear blue sky with bright sunshine promising an ordinary day. At the Qingyun Mountains, in a secluded grass hut that looked like a hidden paradise, a woman in a pink dress walked gracefully toward the edge of a cliff. This eldest senior sister, whom Yi Ping had never met, stood with her hands on her hips, frowning as she gazed into the distance. "I'm finally out of seclusion. The air outside really does smell sweeter." Suddenly, a loud shout caught her attention. "Eldest Senior Sister!" Chen Lingru ran over happily, eager to gossip. "Sister, you're out? I was just debating whether to send you a voice transmission." Seeing who it was, the eldest senior sister pulled Chen Lingru into a hug and praised her with a squinting smile. "Oh my, look who it is. Isn't this my most adorable little sister?" She playfully cupped Chen Lingru's chest and teased, "Let sister see if you've grown at all." Blushing furiously, Chen Lingru shrieked, "Sister, stop fooling around." But the elder woman continued to laugh mischievously. "Ha ha, the little girl is still shy." A moment later, she stopped teasing and took a long swig from a wine gourd, muttering, "Your figure is coming along nicely. I wonder which brat will be lucky enough to get you in the future." Chen Lingru grumbled, "Sister, you're drinking again. Didn't Master strictly forbid it?" Regardless, the eldest senior sister didn't care. Instead, she laughed excitedly, raising the gourd high. "How refreshing." She then draped an arm over Chen Lingru's shoulder and tried to shove the gourd toward her mouth, coaxing her. "What's wrong with a little drink? Wine is the medicine for happiness. Does little Lingru want a taste?" Chen Lingru was startled and quickly dodged, scolding, "Sister, have you had too much to drink?" But the eldest senior sister pursued her relentlessly. "Come here, let sister give you a hug." Unable to dodge in time, Chen Lingru had no choice but to let her arm be draped over her shoulder as they talked. "Lingru, has anything happened in the sect lately? Has that useless eldest senior brother of yours mastered the spring thunder sword intent yet?" Seeing that the teasing had stopped, Chen Lingru spoke seriously, "I'm not sure, but from the look of it, he's the same as always. However, Master took in a new junior brother, and he seems to have driven eldest and second senior brothers nearly mad." The eldest senior sister, who was snacking on melon seeds while enjoying the drama, perked up. "The junior brother is a troublemaker? What are you talking about? Hurry up and tell me what happened." Chen Lingru pouted and recounted the gossip perfectly. When junior brother first arrived, Master instructed the senior brothers to teach him swordsmanship. But perhaps junior brother's talent is just too poor. No matter how they teach him, he can't learn anything. Because of that, their mental states have crumbled. Lately, the two of them have been going to the cliffside at midnight to sit there looking heavy-hearted. The eldest senior sister's penchant for chaos was instantly piqued. She said gleefully, "Haha, is it really that interesting?" Chen Lingru looked puzzled. "Sister, you're still laughing? I think second senior brother is about to snap." The eldest senior sister took the opportunity to act the part, putting her arm around the girl's shoulder and lecturing. "Little Lingru, you must diligently practice the techniques I taught you. Don't learn from those two useless brothers of yours. You are different from them." Chen Lingru replied, "I understand." Having received her confirmation, the eldest senior sister leapt into the air, calling back, "Fine, I'll go have a look at this junior brother of ours personally. Remember to practice hard." Seeing this, Chen Lingru muttered happily to herself, "With eldest senior sister taking charge, everything will surely be fine. Probably." A moment later, Yi Ping's residence was quiet and deserted. The eldest senior sister landed in front of Yi Ping, but he was fully concentrated on his meditative cultivation, completely unaware of her presence. With his eyes closed, his body was there, but his soul had drifted elsewhere. Seeing how handsome he was, she cupped her face, her cheeks flushing as she remarked, "Ooh, he's a fresh snack, isn't he?" She muttered to herself, "That old man, the disciple he recruited, is right up my alley. Best to keep the good stuff in the family." After staring for a while, she suddenly started feeling a wave of confusion. "Oh, wait a minute. Junior brother's aura isn't quite right." Then, like a bolt from the blue, a panicked thought struck her. This aura, isn't this the same constitution as Imperial Father? She hurriedly moved closer to Yi Bing, whispering to herself, impossible, is this a joke? I must have sensed it wrong. How could a small sect like this produce two peerless geniuses at the same time? It wasn't until she looked closely at Yi Ping's face that she stood frozen in shock, her brow furrowed, and she stammered in disbelief within her heart. My God, it's true, it's identical, this is impossible. Aside from Imperial Father, this kind of constitution was supposed to have been completely lost since ancient times. Suddenly, Yi Bing slowly opened his eyes. His brow furrowed as the first thing he saw was the eldest senior sister's impressive cleavage. Instantly, Yi Bing was petrified, staring blankly in total confusion. Then he scrambled backward in terror, his face turning beet red as he shouted awkwardly, Who are you? What do you want? Slipping into her actress persona, the eldest senior sister reached out and pressed a hand onto Yi Ping's shoulder, smiling as she said, Come here, be a good boy. Let sister give you a physical exam. He let out a startled cry, questioning his very reality. A physical exam? The eldest senior sister's face was as radiant as a peach blossom, and her eyes were tender as she thought, so similar. I never expected that the tiny Qingyun Sect would simultaneously produce two people with peerless constitutions, little sister and now junior brother. This is too exaggerated. Even if I can't have this fertile water for myself, I have to make the best use of it. Watching the sway of her chest, Yi Ping frowned and stammered shyly, this sister, may I ask who exactly you are? Instead of backing away, she leaned her proud chest closer to him, her eyes misty as she soothed him. Don't be nervous, I'm your senior sister, Xiao Muxue. You can just call me Sister Xiao. Yi Ping became even more flustered, sweating profusely as he stammered, Eldest Senior Sister. By now his face was as red as a ripe tomato. Panicking, he gasped for air. I heard Master mention you, but sister, could you perhaps step back a little? Men and women should maintain a respectful distance. Before he could finish, Xiao Muxue pulled his head into a hug, laughing so hard that tears nearly came to her eyes. Our junior brother is blushing, that's just too cute. Yi Ping pushed her away, a nosebleed nearly erupting. He tottered backward, thinking to himself that this was bad. I can't take it. I really can't take this. Xiao Muxue cried out in alarm. Junior brother? A moment later, Yi Ping sat there unconscious while Xiao Muxue knelt beside him, reaching out to tap his pressure points. As she helped him recover his energy, she frowned slightly, assessing the situation. It's true, it really is Imperial Father's constitution. I don't know the reason, but with him, the plan to resist Imperial Father might actually have hope. I must do everything I can to nurture him. Xiao Muxue looked into the distance as if seeing a ray of light piercing through the darkness. Thinking that particular cultivation technique finally had a chance to reappear in the world. A moment later, when Yi Ping regained his senses and scratched his head, Xiao Muxue called out in surprise, Junior brother, you're awake. Yi Ping was still in a daze, confused about what had happened. What happened to me just now? He asked. Xiao Muxue stood up, chest out and head held high as she comforted him. Sister was just giving you a checkup. I found that you've been practicing for too long without rest. You just had a minor flare-up of yang energy. It's a small matter, nothing to worry about. While working hard is a good thing, the path to immortality is long. You must remember to balance work and rest. Hearing this, Yi Ping felt even more lightheaded, his mind a chaotic mess, almost wishing he could just pass out. He lamented inwardly once more. A physical exam? Xiao Muxue leaned down and ruffled his hair. He hadn't misheard. His senior sister had already checked him from head to toe and discovered some rather extraordinary traits. I heard Changyu and Luokan have already taught you swordsmanship and alchemy, so I happen to have a Taoist technique here that is perfect for you. Are you interested? Yi Ping was momentarily stunned before shouting in pleasant surprise. A Taoist technique, of course I'm interested. His eyes sparkled, shimmering with excitement. Xiao Muxue warned him. However, my teaching is extremely strict. I wonder if you can handle it. Full of high spirits, Yi Ping clenched his fists and promised with a determined gaze, I can handle it. As long as I can learn real skills, I can endure any amount of hardship. Hearing this, Xiao Muxue flashed a mysterious, inscrutable smile and asked, What if I were to teach you knowledge regarding that area? With a poof, Yi Ping's face turned as red as a ripe tomato, and he stammered in a panic, that area? Seeing that she had successfully teased him into a blushing mess, she was delighted. Xiao Muxue laughed heartily. I'm just teasing you. Look how scared you are. You're just too cute. Yi Ping finally realized he had been played. He squinted, breaking into a cold sweat as he gave an awkward apologetic smile. Eldest Senior Sister, I will certainly practice diligently. I only hope you won't look down on me for my dull aptitude. Hearing this, Xiao Muxue raised an eyebrow and glanced at the sweating Yi Ping, thinking to herself, Dull aptitude? If this Taotie Spiritual Power constitution is considered dull, that old man is likely playing clever tricks again. She then crossed her arms, narrowing her eyes as she scrutinized him. Little junior brother, I see your physical body has likely been reshaped no fewer than 10 times already. Yi Ping was startled by her question. Eldest Senior Sister, you can even tell that? Xiao Muxue's gaze was sharp as she assessed him, saying, I've had the fortune of undergoing it a few times myself. The pain is something even I don't wish to recall. You truly are a madman, she continued, looking at the dazed and innocent Yi Ping. Little junior brother, although I know you can endure hardship and I'm not worried about your willpower, I must still remind you, you must work twice as hard. Imagine a surge of spiritual energy descending from the heavens, enveloping the entire universe and extending from the plains to the distant mountains. Xiao Muxue cautioned, most people in this world don't realize that the great trend of the world is hard to resist. This world is not as peaceful as it appears on the surface. Before long, it will reveal a side of cruelty never seen before. Images of various races and all sorts of spiritual demons and monsters surfaced in her mind as she instructed. Furthermore, in this era where eternal crisis and opportunity coexist, we humans are not the strongest existence. Demons and spirit beasts could oppress and slaughter us at any time. With a solemn expression and a cold gaze, Xiao Muxue added, no matter how poor your senior brothers or masters say your talent is, you must remember, as long as I am protecting you, I will surely help you reach the summit of this continent. The breeze ruffled her hair as she looked at Yi Ping and emphasized, with great power comes great responsibility, therefore you must work even harder to be worthy of this era and yourself. Yi Ping felt her words ring in his ears like thunder. His eyes shone as he thought, reach the summit of the continent as expected of words spoken by a hidden sect. Immediately, a blazing fighting spirit ignited within him. He replied with full confidence, all right, senior sister, I will definitely work hard and not let you down. Suddenly, a small spirit flew across the sky, letting out a crisp chirp that startled the two into looking up. It landed on Xiao Muxue's bare shoulder, speaking in a language only she could understand. After listening, Xiao Muxue's eyes widened, and she burned with fury, thinking, those pests from the demon god palace again. They certainly know how to pick their timing. This time, I'll make sure none of them leave a whole corpse. Subsequently, Xiao Muxue manifested a spiked spear and turned back to Yi Ping. Little junior brother, I have a few bad kids to discipline, so I won't be able to teach you in person. Yi Ping was scared out of his wits by her murderous aura, shaking like a leaf as he lamented inwardly. Senior sister's vibe changed so suddenly, how terrifying. On the other side, Xiao Muxue waved a finger, and a swirl of pink spiritual energy like a whirlwind sank into the space between Yi Ping's brows. She instructed, I have turned the cultivation technique and related information into a seal within your body. You can begin practicing on your own. Upon receiving the imprint, Yi Ping's jaw dropped in shock as he blurted out, the supreme qi refining art? Yi Ping imagined himself dueling countless cultivators, analyzing this supreme qi refining art, which was hailed as the world's #1 qi refining method. Once mastered, never mind a foundation establishment stage fighter taking on a golden core stage 1, even a group of golden core cultivators would be no match. He looked forward to it, fantasizing about standing atop a mountain peak that pierced the clouds with hundreds and thousands of eyes looking up at him from below. Solely in terms of cultivation level, it was no exaggeration to say that mastering this technique would place one above all other cultivators. However, the corresponding price was something almost no one could bear. Yi Ping casually threw out a palm strike, and golden spiritual energy erupted with a roar. First, for an ordinary person, progressing from qi refining to golden core is already as difficult as ascending to heaven. Yet this supreme qi refining art actually required one to complete 36 revolutions. The more solid the foundation, the more brilliant the future achievements. If a person's energy foundation could reach 36 times that of a normal person, the outcome against an enemy was obvious. Second, and the most difficult point to resolve, was that this technique relied entirely on self-enlightenment. A colorful and intricate maze seemed to appear in his sea of consciousness, with guidance and descriptions that were extremely vague and abstract. In other words, a person's level of cultivation depended entirely on their own luck and comprehension. The higher the comprehension, the more that even becoming an immortal would not be the end. Thinking of this, Yi Ping collapsed to his knees in despair, thinking, if my comprehension is low, I might not even reach foundation establishment. Imagining a scene where everyone reached out toward the scorching sun high in the sky, he realized, thus, although this technique is the strongest cultivation method of the current age, those two nearly impossible rules block everyone's path. To this day, no one has succeeded. Yi Ping stared blankly, turning as still as a stone statue as he cried out, ah! He then pursed his lips and frowned, muttering, 36 revolutions is fine, I just happen to form a new immortal aperture. It can automatically absorb spiritual energy to assist me, so it's not impossible. But this fortune and comprehension, the more he thought, the more of a headache it became. Yi Ping scratched his head and wailed in terror. I don't even have a spiritual root. Doesn't this trash-tier comprehension mean a direct death sentence for me? What comprehension? I don't have anything like that. Dejected, he smacked his forehead and pouted, not daring to think further. But regardless, he couldn't let his senior sister's kindness go to waste. Forget it, he would just have to grit his teeth and practice. Suddenly, Yi Ping realized that the person who was just beside him had vanished. He asked in surprise, when did Eldest Senior Sister leave? I need to hurry up and practice too, every second counts. Suddenly a voice rang out, catching his attention. Little junior brother, Su Changyu appeared, his clothes neat and tidy, showing none of the disheveled state he was in when he first returned. He spoke, "Long time no see, are you well?" Yi Pim cheered in surprise. "Eldest senior brother, you're back." Su Changyu walked up to him and asked about his recent status. "Why aren't you practicing? Have you been slacking off?" Hearing this, Yi Pim hurriedly explained, "No, eldest senior sister was just giving me some pointers." As soon as those words left his mouth, Su Changyu looked as if he had seen a ghost. In his mind his eyes rolled as he roared, "Eldest senior sister." He then fell into a panic, as if he could see Xiao Muxue leaning into his ear and questioning him strictly. "Su Changyu, how is your sword technique coming along?" Scared out of his wits, he suddenly jumped up and grabbed Yi Ping, crying out, "Sister, weren't you supposed to be in seclusion?" Yi Pim, held tightly by his brother, reminded him in a small voice, "She's already gone, senior brother." This left Su Changyu incredibly embarrassed, thinking HMPH a hallucination. Then his face flushed red, and in his shame-induced anger he snapped at Yi Ping, "You brat, can't you finish your sentence all at once?" Yi Ping could only meekly apologize. Then Yi Ping noticed a problem and asked in confusion, "Eldest senior brother, you seem to be very afraid of eldest senior sister." He then saw Su Changyu, face red and scratching his head, forcing a brave front. "Ha ha ha, how could that be? I just think of her as a cockroach, that's all." Yi Pim privately commented, "Wouldn't that be even more embarrassing?" Suddenly a thought flashed, and Yi Pim concluded with surprise in his mind. "It seems eldest senior sister is actually the strongest disciple in the sect." On the other side, Su Changyu didn't dare look him in the eye and said dismissively, "Your eldest senior sister indeed has some skill. You must learn well from her." Yi Ping immediately nodded obediently. Then Su Changyu's face turned red, and with a cramped, uneasy expression he spoke up nervously, "By the way, little junior brother, look at how beautiful the scenery is here." This left Yi Ming completely baffled. Su Changyu was already dying of shame, thinking through gritted teeth, "I still can't say it. This is too embarrassing. How can an elder actively ask a junior for things?" He was drenched in sweat, his heart in a fierce battle. "Su Changyu, oh Su Changyu, have you forgotten what happened in the Silent Forest Mountains? Is face more important, or is your life? I must succeed at all costs then." His head spinning and his face as red as a ripe persimmon, Su Changyu stammered, That little junior brother, while I was away, have you painted any more pictures or written any more poems?" Although he didn't understand the intention, Yi Ping replied, "Paintings? Yes, I painted 2 of them." In an instant, Su Changyu's heart bloomed with joy and he cheered excitedly, "Yes, success." This episode ends here. Everyone, please follow the channel and look forward to the next episode.